A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint John. The sisters of Lazarus sent word to Jesus, saying, "Master, the one you love is ill." When Jesus heard this, he said, "This illness is not to end in death, but is for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was ill, he remained for 2 days in the place where he was. Then after this, he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him. But Mary sat at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise." Martha said, "I know he will rise in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord. I have come to believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, the one who is coming into the world." He became perturbed and deeply troubled and said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Sir, come and see." And Jesus wept. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not the one who opened the eyes of the blind man have done something so that this man would not have died?" So Jesus, perturbed again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay across it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the dead man's sister, said to him, "Lord, by now there will be a stench. He has been dead for 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus raised his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you for hearing me. I know that you always hear me. But because of the crowd here, I have said this, that they may believe that you sent me." And when he had said this, he cried out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, tied hand and foot with burial bands, and his face was wrapped in a cloth. So Jesus said to them, "Untie him and let him go." Now many of the Jews who had come to Mary and seen what he had done began to believe in him. The Gospel of the Lord.
Our Lenten journey has nearly come to an end. We are now on the 5th Sunday of Lent, Sunday right before Palm Sunday. Our readings for this Sunday points us to the Lord who makes himself seen as the Lord of life, he who is capable of giving life even to the dead. In our first reading, the prophet Ezekiel writes, "Thus says the Lord God, O my people, I will open your graves and have you rise from them and bring you back to the land of Israel." Here, we experience our God, who is life and gives life, yet allows us also to face the tragedy of death. I believe Jesus wishes to show us the power of God over death. On this fifth Sunday, we see through the Gospel the interplay of man's faith and the omnipotence of God. As our Holy Father Pope Francis states, it is like a two-lane street. The faith of man and the omnipotence of God's love seek each other and finally meet. It is so noteworthy the response of Jesus, "I am the resurrection and the life," to the cry of Martha, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would have not died." With this, he wanted to tell her and to all the people there to have faith in him amidst the grief over the loss of their brother Lazarus. Jesus highlights the necessity to be steadfast in our faith even when it seems that death has won. The same message is for us today, especially when we experience different forms of death in our lives. The deaths that we experience daily are like stones that hinder the doors of our hearts to welcome, see, and experience the love of God and He Himself in our day-to-day living. Let us allow Him to remove the stones covering the doors of our hearts and welcome Him in our life so as not to live in the shadows of death. Let us take the challenge of Jesus when He said, "Take away the stone." For indeed, He alone is our life and resurrection, with whom there is mercy and fullness of redemption. A blessed Sunday.